So today I'm joined by Jennifer from the Rosen Inn Hotels in Orlando. So hi, Jennifer, and welcome to the podcast.
All right. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, thank you very much. Now you can make us feel really jealous by telling us what the weather's like in Orlando at the moment.
Oh, that's going to be horrible for you guys, but it is wonderful here today. It's bright and it's sunny. Right now it's 73, but we're expecting a high of 86 today. So it's a perfect day in Orlando.
Yeah, that's pretty warm. I won't sort of tell you. I mean, it's cold and grey, despite the fact that it's the end of April. Going into May now. And usually the weather in the UK is okay. It's not great, but it is normally a bit better by now. But I think it's making us all wish we were in Orlando. So we're very, very jealous of your weather at the moment.
We definitely have the bright sunny skies and we're just waiting for all our friends from the UK to come visit.
Oh yeah, well, I'll be there as soon as possible. So I think a lot of people I've either stayed at one of the Rosen hotels or have heard of them at least. But I don't think people realize just quite how many there are in the Orlando area.
Yeah, we have 7 hotels here in Orlando. 5 of which are on the International Drive corridor. And then we have the Rosen Shingle Creek and then our Lake Buena Vista property. So we have them all over Orlando.
Yeah, so that's the great thing is you're covered if you want to be up sort of closer to Universal, covered up to there. If you want to be kind of in the middle, great. If you want to be closer down to Disney, again, you're covered. And if you want to do a twin center, so you're sort of hopping between the two, because we always recommend if you do a twin center, because it's so much easier to get from one up to Universal than it is to then get down to Disney. But we'll come on to that a bit later. So it's great having that range and also knowing what the quality and the brand is going to be at each one, as opposed to just turning up at two different random hotels. It's such a great experience, kind of, because you always got that continuity between the hotels, haven't you?
Yeah, we've really worked hard on that over the last 50 years. And I don't know if everyone realizes, but this year we are celebrating our 50th anniversary of Rosen Hotels and Resorts. Same owners, a lot of the same managers. We've really just built a family here. And, our products range from and have something for everybody, no matter who you are. We have something for the family that just wants to come to Disney, or we have somebody who's the universal Harry Potter fanatic. And then a lot of our hotels are right at the back door of the newest park that's going to be opening up soon. So we're excited for next year for Epic Universal to open. And that'll be just a hop, skip, and a jump from many of our properties.
Yeah, I was going to say about Epic that you have got some hotels which are in fantastic locations to Epic Universe, and that is going to be I think looking at the pictures is going to sort of blow everyone's minds. And I think this is going to be the number one place to be. And of course, you guys have got some hotels so close to Epic. But what's great about your hotels is that you have shuttle buses as well to be able to go there. So for us Brits coming from the UK, we generally don't like hiring cars whilst we're away. It's quite expensive. It's on the other side of the road. All these kind of problems. Plus, also, someone explained to me is you've probably been awake for about 24 hours by the time you actually land. The last thing you want to do is pick up a big car, because your cars are bigger than ours, on the other side of the road, and then try and find your hotel. It's so much easier if there is shuttle buses that are going to be taking you to the theme park. So could you just let us know a little bit more about the shuttle bus service, please?
So it varies from property to property. Our Lake Buena Vista property offers shuttles to all of the parks, whether it be Universal, Disney, or the SeaWorld area. And then at our leisure properties on International Drive, they're destination Universal properties. So they have shuttles over to Universal, and so does our Rosen Shingle Creek. So it really makes it easy. And then we know that our British friends love to shop. So we have the iRide trolley also, which can get you convenient access to the shopping malls here on the International Drive corridor. So there's a little bit for everything when it comes to getting around.
Generally, whenever we have anyone who's staying at, for example, Point Orlando, so Rosen in Point Orlando, always include the i trolley tickets on that, because it's so easy to get around, and you can go up and you can go and explore some of the restaurants up there. You can go all the way to the outlet malls. We do like going to the outlet malls and going to sort of have like a day off from the park, because you can't do the parks every day. Can you tell us a little bit about the room types that you have?
So, at our four leisure properties, the majority of our rooms are double doubles, perfect for a family with a coffee maker, a refrigerator, a microwave in the room. And then when you get to our convention properties, we have a little bit more variety. You're going to have some of the suites, you're going to have the queen beds, you're going to have some king accommodations also. So, really, it's going to depend upon what somebody's looking for. But,
Yeah, and
it doesn't matter what you're really looking for. If it's a short stay you're coming in, or if it's a longer stay that you're going to have, we really find that, especially with the leisure properties, having those refrigerators and microwaves, and each one of our stores having a little convenience store at it, each one of our hotels, that people really find it convenient because they can keep snacks in the room and they can bring things with them over to the park for the day.
what I was just about to say actually could reminded me about the refrigerator because the first ever hotel I stayed in America and in Orlando was Rosen Inn on International Drive, which we were talking about beforehand is the one that everyone refers to as being next to the big McDonald's. And you know, I said my first time in America, and so we know if it's going to be big, and then to go to that huge McDonald's, and then it just blows your mind. But having that refrigerator in the room, I don't think people realize if they haven't been to America or been to Orlando before, one, how hot and humid it can be, but to have that convenience of when you arrive, that there's a convenience store inside the hotel, you can go and pick up bottles of water, Coke, that kind of stuff, and you can keep them refrigerated because that's the other crucial thing. Is of course you can keep them in any hotel room, but they're going to get a bit warm after a while, and it just means when you go to the theme parks the next day, you're not spending about $4.50 for a bottle of Coke in the park.
Well, you brought up a really key point, and that's the hydration here. I think people do not realize when they come to Orlando for the first time how hot the sun is here and how quickly you can dehydrate and overheat, and the importance of not only using our light bites to be able to stock up on that water, but also sunblock. It's so important that people put proper sunblock. I see so many first time visitors here that are walking around just red as can be. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, when they go back to the room, they're going to be hurting so badly. It's just really important for people to remember that it is a completely different sun than it is in other parts of the world.
Yeah, there's a lot of lobsters. You can tell the first time visitors,
There
can't you?
are.
Because they're walking around like lobsters. Yeah, I think if they went to Bubba Gumps, I think they might get put into a pot or something like that. And talk about hydration and keeping cool. You've also got swimming pools at the hotels as well, so you can chill out and relax. Maybe have a day off from the parks and spend some time around the pool.
100%. I don't think a hotel in Florida would be complete without a swimming pool. And we definitely have those at each one of our properties. And they vary a little bit from property to property. In Lake Buena Vista, you also have Aussie Splash Ground for a little bit of rest and relaxation for the kids to be able to hang out and play while mom and dad are at the pool. And then at all of our properties, we usually have anywhere between two pools up to four pools at Rosen Shingle Creek. They vary from lap pools to, transition pools at our resorts. And then Rosen Center has a massive pool with a great by the pool restaurant called Harry's. So you can get out there and get your lunch, or you can also get a drink. At night, they have the steel bongo player drums out there at night. So it's really just, an oasis. And you're right. I mean, people don't realize the parks are a lot of work. And they think they're going to come here and do 14 days of parks, one after the other. And by day 2 or 3, they're like, wait a minute, I need a day. I just need to relax by this pool. I need to take in the Florida sun and just spend a day of R&R.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just want to sort of start later in the day, so you just chill out by the pool beforehand, so you're not trying to get there really early, you get there late afternoon, maybe just go for fireworks or something like that. You can do a little bit of shopping down I Drive, chill out by the pool. It's all on your doorstep, isn't it? And then just get the shuttle bus, go up a bit later on and relax. Because, yeah, you're right. First timers do go in thinking that they're going to hit the parks 14 days in a row and crash and burn pretty quickly. So yeah, having that chance just to chill out and relax. You've got restaurants at each of the hotels as well. You do have quite a good range. I remember, I think it must be my first night I arrived at the one on the International Drive. I remember eating in the restaurant. So could you just tell us a little bit more about the restaurants you have?
Yeah, so at our four leisure properties, we have a buffet for breakfast and then one for dinner. And we also have a little special treat at one of our leisure properties, the Rosen Inn Universal, that we have Mr. Rosen's personal favorite restaurant, Shogun Japanese Steakhouse, that's open nightly. And then when you get to our convention properties, you have a wider variety of what you have to choose from. We have sushi restaurants, we have buffets, we have deli areas, we have our Harry's restaurant, and then fine dining establishments ranging from steakhouses to Italian restaurants. So there's really a little bit of everything. And then, for those nights that you don't have something you want at one of the hotels, there's always a variety of restaurants up and down International Drive. And as we talked about before, that I Ride trolley is an amazing way to experience all that International Drive has to offer.
Yeah, I don't think if it's your first time going, I don't think you realize or you grasp just how big everything is, how far away everything is from each other, but just how long like International Drive is just going up and down it on the iTrolley. But for example, if you're at Point Orlando, so can you tell us a little bit more about Port Orlando? Because I think it's one of those kind of places that people might have been past it, but maybe don't kind of realize just what's going on there. And of course, you've got a hotel slap bang right on the doorstep.
Well, that's a huge hotel too. It's 1,020 rooms, which is just massive by any standard. And they have 3 pools at that hotel. They have their buffet restaurant for breakfast and dinner. They also have Zebra's Bar, which has a pool table in it and an outside seating area. They do karaoke on different nights. They have a smooth Java, which for all of us here in the United States, I don't know if it's the same in the UK, but we're obsessed with our Starbucks coffee. And they have a
Yeah.
Starbucks area right at that hotel. And then they also have their Light Bite Deli. So you can get sandwiches, you can get drinks, and we've talked about that, all your snacks and everything. There's a playground there. And then really for some of our people, we find that when they're coming, they're not only coming for vacation, they're coming from business. They're really an economical solution to being able to walk to the convention center, be able to bring your family with you and still experience your business and your leisure at the same time.
Yeah, and then you said you got Point Orlando just on your doorstep, and of course you've got the free shuttle buses to take you up to Universal as well. I think Point Orlando is probably actually the one we sell the most. What a lot of other hotels, and for us in the UK, this is kind of quite a strange concept, is resort fees. And a lot of your competitors have this idea that you should pay for a hotel and then pay between $25 to $50 a night for the privilege of checking in for the facilities that you've already paid for. But really glad to hear that Rosen don't charge a resort fee.
That is correct. No resort fees. We never will. We never have. It has been, a long-standing principle of Harris Rosen that what you just said is completely the truth. It is ridiculous to charge someone an extra fee for the privilege of checking into your property. Include that in the price. Make sure that they feel welcome. Make sure they feel they're getting a value. Not only do we not have the resort fee, but your basic Wi-Fi is free at all the properties. We know that people want to stay connected, that their cell phones are so important to them. And so we don't charge for that, and we will never charge a resort fee.
It's so great to hear because sometimes people might sort of come to us and say, "Oh, I found this hotel," and they go, "Did you realize there's a $35 a night resort fee?" I didn't realize. If you're going for a night or two, you can kind of maybe stomach it. But for 14 nights, you go, I'm not paying
It's
however much that
expensive.
is. Crazy kind of money just for the privilege of checking in. As you said, have it all included. This is why we think Rosen is such a great hotel chain because no resort fees, but you get so much included. Such great value as well, and brilliant locations, which is why we love sending our guests
Well,
over
it's
to see.
funny. It's funny because people over the years have joined the company and been like, do you know what we can make with the resort fee? Do you know how much there's lost revenue there is? And they don't last because Mr. Rosen, like I said, his philosophy is there will not be a resort fee. And I don't know how much you know about his story, but he hitchhiked when he first started this company up to the Northeast and let people name their price in the beginning because it was during the oil embargo. And he, from that first day, said, I'm
Ah.
always going to treat my customers fairly. And if I treat them fairly and I'm honest with them, they will come back. And so those who think differently never last at this company. But that being said, we have employees such as myself that have been with us for 33 years. We do a big anniversary celebration every year, and we fill an entire ballroom with associates who have been with us 10 plus years. And I think that's another great reason that people like hotels such as the Pointe, Rosen Pointe, or Rosen Inn International is when they come back year after year, and many do, they see the same faces and they become part of their family. And we see pages that are started on social media by a lot of our UK friends that are fan pages. And they're like, yesterday I saw them calling out one of our waitresses at the Rosen Inn Lake Buena Vista and saying, happy birthday, Jill, one of our favorite people. And she's one of the waitresses in the dining room, but they become part of your extended family. And for us, you guys become part of our extended family. So it really is a win-win situation.
It's so great to hear, because the last thing you want to do if you've just come off a long flight after a long day is then have a miserable person checking in the reception, or someone who's not helpful, or not part of the magic. But one of the feedback we always hear about people who stay at the Rosen properties is that, you know, really great, friendly people, not over the top.
It's
We always
family.
get can you tell us a little bit more about, so we talked more about the properties that are up closer to Universal on International Drive, and you've got a fantastic resort down a Lake Buena Vista. So can you tell us a little bit about that one? Because obviously that's a bit closer down to Disney.
The Lake Buena Vista property is, a great property. Not only do we have 640 rooms there spread over 33 acres, so it's a little bit more widespread property. There's a little bit more green area. You have some lakes with fountains in the back. You're right across the highway, actually, from the outlet malls in Lake Buena Vista. But you do have that free shuttle to not only Disney, but to Universal and up to the iDrive area. And then you have your guest accommodations there. You have an outside venue in the back that's like kind of a deck area where you can sit out and enjoy your morning coffee. You have this coffee light bite there. You have your buffet breakfast and buffet dinner there. You have the Comfort Zone Sports Lounge at night that you can go in and get burgers or fish and chips and sit down and enjoy a pint. And then you also have a nice meeting space there that a lot of our clients that are coming in, actually from the UK, love to get married in Lake Buena Vista. They love to come and celebrate their nuptials here. And so we have a small meeting space that people can do their wedding ceremonies in, or they can do it out back by the lake. And we've really found that to be a growing trend over the last few years.
That's fun. I did not know that you could get married there. So
You
that's something new
can.
to me as well. So there we go. Yeah, because it's a lot of people obviously want to get married in America, especially sort of in Orlando. So that's good to know as well, because you do have some really, obviously the name is called Lake Buena Vista, beautiful lake view, which are the kind of the name kind of
Mhm.
implies that there's going to be lakes. But I think people don't realize sometimes that there are a lot of lakes, and it
Mhm.
is a beautiful, pretty part of Orlando, and you're so close to Disney, and as you said, you're so close to the outlets, you're so close to Universal and all those kind of places. So you can just do your entire stay down there, or you can split it if you're going to be going up, twin center it with Point Orlando, so you're a bit closer to Universal. I think a lot of that depends on the ages of the kids, because obviously, generally, Disney's a bit more all ages, and Universal's probably slightly older
Teen-
kids, maybe. Yeah.
And
So
I don't
we
think
always.
people realize how close Lake Buena Vista is to Universal also, because you can go
Mm.
straight up Turkey Lake Road. The road that you leave the hotel on Palm Parkway, you can take that straight up into the back parking lot of Universal. You don't have to go back onto International Drive, and a lot of people forget that. So that property is probably, I would say, one of the most centrally located properties of all of our properties.
Yes, a fantastic location, and especially if you don't want to twin center, if you just want to stay in one place the entire time. 'Cause the great thing about the UK tickets is you got 14 days in all of the parks, and some people like to just do, tick off. We're going to do Universal for 4 or 5 days, and then we're going to do the rest of the time at Disney. And some people want to mix and match a little bit and say, well, today I want to go to Disney, tomorrow I want to go to Universal. So having those shuttle buses that you can pick and say, I want to go to this park this day, we'll go this park this day. Such a great thing as opposed to sort of doing the twin center. And of course, I'm guessing, will there be transportation to Epic when it opens?
There will be transportation to Epic when it opens. Yes. I mean, we can't have a brand new theme park in Central Florida and not offer transportation to it. And it really is going to be amazing. I'll make you a little jealous again. When I go back to my office in a little while, I have a direct view out my office window to the construction going on at Epic. And it's
Oh,
been
wow.
epic, for lack of a better term, to watch it go up during the pandemic, even, and post pandemic, and watching this all go up and just transform before our eyes.
Oh, wow. See, you can turn your office now into a hotel room, because
Good,
it's
I
got
could.
theme park view rooms. So yeah,
Never
you
mind
can
Disney's Cinderella's
rent
castle. We can
out.
just
Yeah.
rent out my office.
We've covered off most of the hotels, but the one which is probably slightly sort of different is Shingle Creek compared to the other hotels. So could you just a little bit more about that one, please?
Well, I can't tell you just a little bit about that one because there's so much to
Oh
talk
no, no,
about,
just a little.
but it really is our resort. I mean, we have not only do we have the hotel, but we have golf course there, which is designed by Arnold Palmer and one of his last designs. So it's an amazing golf course. We have a spa, full spa there at the hotel. We have two fine dining restaurants at that hotel, the award-winning Land Remembered, and then Calabella, which just has amazing Italian food. A lot of the food is actually brought in from our farm in the back, Emma's Creekside Farm, which our
Oh,
chef curated over the last few years. And now, seasonally, the crops that come in determine the menu in that restaurant, which is just so incredible. We also have a Mexican restaurant there. We have a burger restaurant, a sushi bar. There's the lobby bar area. We have a multitude of different pools. And then the deli that's in that hotel is called 18 Monroe, and that actually was designed for where Mr. Rosen grew up. And there's an ice cream shop in there, and then a pizzeria in there. So it's just, a tribute to Mr. Rosen's legacy and to his lifetime, and really was a sketch, that hotel that he made back in the day, and said, "This is my dream someday," and was able to bring that hotel to fruition and his dream to fruition. And does a ton of in-house meetings, but also has that complete resort feel of it. And I think that's what makes it so unique in the Central Florida area, is it really does combine the best of both worlds.
yeah, you can go to the parks obviously if you want to, but you've also got the resort style because yeah, there are people, and it does happen that not everyone in the family actually wants to go to Disney every single day, or doesn't want to go to the theme parks and things. They're not that bothered with it. They might kind of feel obliged that they're having to take the kids on this once in a lifetime trip. And so they want to get something out of the holiday as well. They want to, chill by a pool. They want maybe play a round of golf, go to some restaurants. And that's where I kind of think that Shingle Creek is one of those resorts that it's going to have something for everyone. You can go to the parks. Also, people who have been to the parks, get quite a lot of people who have been, 7, 8, 9 times to Orlando, and they want to do something a bit different. So they've done the parks where they've got in every single day, and we have to be as close as possible. And now, actually, we want to actually have a holiday, vacation, and also go to the parks as well. And I think this is where Shingle Creek is a perfect kind of mix because it is that resort style, and also you do have the theme parks so close as well.
You're correct. There's so much that leisure activities that go on there. You could go fishing for the day there. You can play sand volleyball. You could play basketball. And then the name of the hotel itself, Shingle Creek, is the headwaters to the Everglades. And the actual Shingle Creek runs around the back of the resort. And there's a walking trail back there where you can go and walk along the Shingle Creek. And if you were to take Shingle Creek on a canoe, you would eventually go down to the Everglades. So it is the headwaters to the Everglades.
Well, that sounds like a challenge. There was a guy from the UK recently who ran the length of Africa, so I think he'd be able to canoe
Be able to do that.
from
Yes,
Orlando
yes,
down
yes.
to Miami. Not It's probably more dangerous though, with all the alligators and things like that.
There
Probably
would be alligators,
when you get to
yes,
the Everglades.
definitely.
So
Well, there's alligators here in Orlando.
but there is what's it called? It's called Wild Florida. Is the
Wild Florida is down
experience?
here. Mhm. And you can drive through, and there's a lot of different places in Central Florida. You can do airboat rides, and you'll be able to see gators in the wild and all of the different elements of nature that Central Florida has. And, I think that's what people forget sometimes, is that Central Florida is so much more than the theme parks. We have so many springs here. We have the beach nearby. There are so many places that you can go airboating, hiking. There's just so much to do that involves nature around here. And our art scene is really developed over the last few years. We have the Dr. Phillips Center for Performing Arts. We have amazing concerts that go on at our Kia Center. We have downtown Winter Park, that's just an amazing area filled with galleries. And a lot of people don't realize they can also take the Sunrail train down into Winter Park area and pick it up off the Sand Lake Road area. And so there really are some great hidden treasures in Central Florida that people don't realize are here when they just think of the theme parks.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think more and more people are discovering that there are other things to do than just going to the theme park, especially if you've been to the parks quite a few times. You want to go off and you want to, because like I didn't realize until quite recently that Orlando has a really vibrant food scene. Like there's Michelin star restaurants
Amazing.
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And obviously being so close, got so close to like the Caribbean, it's got like a lot of Caribbean, the Latino food as well. So things that we wouldn't sort of normally have in the UK. So you can go off on a little foodie trail around Orlando itself. And Winter Garden is really nice as well. So again, staying at somewhere where you're not forced to go to the theme parks every day. You can wander off and go and do something. You can hire a car for a few days because that's the other thing is people think you have to hire a car for the entire time you're there, but you don't. You can just hire a
You,
car for the last. We usually recommend for the last couple of days because then you can drop it back at the airport and then you don't have to worry about a transfer back.
you can actually pick up a car at one of our hotels at Rosen Center, and the car rental agency there will actually deliver to our all of our other properties too. So you have that unique opportunity of not having to go
Ah,
out to the airport, not having to try to find a rental car agency. There's a phone in each one of the lobbies that you can call from, and they'll get rental cars for you.
another make it simple, make it simple, make it easy, make it guest
Well,
friendly.
exactly. You're on vacation. It's our job to do the work.
That sounds great to me because I don't like driving at the best of times, let alone whilst I'm away. But to get out to the space center, the coast, you want to go and explore, then this is where you need a car, and you might just have it for a couple of days. But if you guys can organize, get the car either dropped off, or if it's in the same hotel as well, even better. And then you just drop it back at the airport, nice and easy.
Because
It's so
we don't do
easy.
resort fees and we don't believe in a lot of those extra charges. We don't charge for parking either at our leisure properties. So at the leisure properties, so if they're staying at Point, they're not going to be paying for that parking.
Again, and that's such a massive saving because a lot of other hotels will charge you either it will be part of the resort fee, and you go, well, I don't have a car, so why am I paying
Don't
this
have a
resort fee? I
car.
don't have a car. Or they charge you, or they might not charge you a resort fee, but they charge you a parking fee as well. And you go, well, I need a car for 3 or 4 days, and that's going to cost me $100 just to park the car.
Park it.
I'm going to be in the park, I'm not actually going to use the car that much.
And Orlando vacations, can be pricey to begin with. I mean, you're looking at the theme parks and everything, and that's why I think it's so important that we talk about all the other things that Central Florida has to offer, and that the things our resorts have to offer, so that people can enjoy their vacation without having to spend money every turn of the corner.
You kind of know how much spending money you've got. So when you check into the hotel, you know that the money you've got in your account or wallet, that's your money to spend on food and on fun, not on checking in fees and parking fees or bad stuff.
Could not agree more. You brought up a very interesting point about restaurants, though, in the Orlando food scene, because it really has exploded over the last couple of years. And a lot of that I attribute to the multiple cultures that we have here in Central Florida, but also the convention business that has really taken off. And the convention centers has continued to expand. Businesses have needed to come up with new inventive ways. And so I would challenge people when they come to, there's the old favorites that everyone wants to try that are chains, but to really kind of venture out and look at some of the food options that Orlando has to offer, because they are so vast and the food is just really amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot more to America than just Taco Bell. So yeah,
Thank goodness.
what tip would you give to a first timer coming to Orlando?
For a first timer coming to Orlando, I would definitely say do your research. Don't get here and think, I'm going to pick up a map to a park in the hotel lobby and I'm going to just go and do it. Really look at what you want, because, we talked about this earlier. Each park offers a little bit something different. You may be at the Disney parks and it's for a younger audience and there's the characters they want to see, or you may be a thrill seeker and Universal may be the way to go. But plan it out and don't be unrealistic in your expectations. Realize that you don't need a 14-day park pass to come here, and really look at everything that Orlando has and the hotels that you're staying at, what they have to offer for you. And then stay hydrated. It's so important here. I see so many people, and we joke about it, but get taken out of parks by the medic team because they have dehydrated during the course of the day because they've underestimated the sun. So hydrate yourself, take care of yourself, and just do some planning ahead of time. Make it a fun game with the family on, everyone gets their thing then, because it's so important. Your time goes by so quickly, and to plan it out accordingly.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Am I right in thinking that you have a kids eat free offer in the
We
restaurants?
we do at our leisure buffets. We have kids 5 and under eat free. So it really kind of it takes a little bit of that pressure off a family traveling with young children who maybe are picky and don't eat as much as the older children. So with every paying adult, you're going to get a child 5 and under free.
Fantastic. And so that is that also for breakfast as well?
Breakfast and dinner, correct?
Fantastic. Because coming from the UK, usually most hotels in the UK, unless it's the real sort of budget hotel, does include some kind of breakfast. And then when you go to America, hardly any hotels include breakfast. So one of the questions I always ask is, so where do we get breakfast from? And so being able to have a buffet breakfast in your hotel, and then also for your 5-year-olds and under, who probably aren't going to eat that much, to be fair, are they? Because that's the other thing is you
No,
kind of go, why am I paying for my 4-year-old who's going to eat 2 bits of toast and half a bowl of
correct.
cereal? Why am I paying for them? If you're getting it for free, then fantastic. And if they happen to eat a lot of food, great. Because if it was me, I'd be telling them, right, we're not eating till dinner time tonight. We're not having lunch. Have a big breakfast.
Well, that's why we offer Mickey waffles at most of our leisure properties, because they can make their own Mickey waffle and add whatever toppings they want to it. And usually that entices them to eat a little bit in the morning. And when you get that big morning meal in before a day at the parks, it really does save you money in the long run because you're not hungry 5 minutes later and eating those expensive meals at the parks.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried it in the past before where you just have like a snack for breakfast. But I
Yep,
think the way forward is no, have a proper breakfast, fill
correct.
yourself up for the day. You don't really need a huge lunch, and then you have like an early dinner. Which, to be fair, the UK we eat quite early anyway. Kids will eat at 5:30 over here, so we're used to eating early. So by having a big breakfast, have like a little snack, and it's great. Again, or in the evening, again, if you're going back to the hotel, again, if you've got younger kids, you're probably going to be in the park that late. So again, to go to the restaurant, and if you've got a 5-year-old or under, they're going to eat for free as well. So brilliant, save a little bit of money. Well, thank you very much for speaking to me today. As per usual, and every time we always speak to anyone at Rosen or we book people in to go over there, it always makes me really, really jealous because I just want to get on the plane and go over. You've got a fantastic range of brilliant hotels, and what we love about it is it's really family friendly, great service, welcome. You've got fantastic locations, you've got the shuttle buses, and no resort fees as well, so no nickel and timers. So this is why we're always really happy to recommend our clients and guests to come and stay with you.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you about Rosen today. It really is our pleasure to welcome UK guests. They've been the backbone of our business for years, and we just love them. And we're excited whenever we have the opportunity to be able to speak to them or host them at the hotels. And let me know next time you're coming, and we'll get you all set up over here. It's time for you to come over and have
I
a
will. I
vacation.
will too. Yeah, I
Definitely.
would. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.
Thank
Bye.
you. You too.